Hello, World of Tank Blitzers, and hopefully a few future Momrads. I'm Littlefinger here today to share a little bit of more knowledge with you. This time I am talking about the Cruiser 4, which is a British light tank here at Tier 3. You can see this tank in the garage. It is one of my favorite tanks at the tier, and you will see why very shortly. One of the nice things about this tank is it does have some really nice spaced armor. So a lot of these tanks at this tier are shooting heat, and you can take some of those shots and receive very little to no damage whatsoever. Let's take a look at the characteristics of this tank. You can see here the strength is its maneuverability. Also very good with its shot effectiveness there. 350 hit points is right in line with the rest of the tier. The hull armor at 30 millimeters is very good for the class, and the turret armor is just slightly above average as well. This tank has a very nice 300, it's showing 406 horsepower here, and that's with all of my provisions and everything extra that I'm running on it. But top speed there, 48 kilometers per hour, which is actually a little bit slower than some of the others in the tier, but you'll find this tank moves around the battlefield quite well. Several guns available. Comes standard with the 2-pounder. You will want to quickly work your way up to the 40 millimeter. This is a 4-shot auto loader in bursts of 2, and you can see here while the penetration value there 63 is a little bit below average. The premium there is best in, well, almost best in class at 101, but it is a little bit lower here with your hit points at 45, but with that 27 rounds per minute, which is very good for the tier, you're going to be able to dish out about 1,200 damage per minute there, which is, I think, second best only to the T46. It does have a very nice aim time of 3.9 and a very good dispersion. So gun is very nice on this tank. Just looking real quick here at the tech tree. It is down here at the bottom. You will move up to the Covenanter, Crusader, Cromwell Comet, Centurions, and the FE 4202. A very fun line to drive. Fast, medium tanks, good guns, good gun depression. Consumables, what I'm running is repair kit, multi-purpose, and a power boost. You cannot run adrenaline as this is an auto loader. Provisions, I'm running all 3 that are available. Protective kit to help with fire, ammo rack, and protection for crew. I think this is well worth the money spent on it. The other 2 probably are more optional. You could probably do away with it if you're looking to save a few credits per game. And you can see here with the new update that it shows you what you're getting with these provisions. Ammunition, just running a few rounds, 13 rounds of the APCR. Don't forget you can change that to credits with the button on the right here. Equipment, I was running vents, the enhanced gun laying drive, and then also a spall liner, and just because a lot of the tanks at this tier shoot heat, and I was more up front, kind of tip of the spear, so to speak, so binoculars and whatnot didn't really help me with this tank. So I'm going to pull up the spreadsheet real quick, and we will take a look at how it compares to the other tanks in this tier. Alright guys, real quick, here's our spreadsheet, and we've got the Cruiser 4 highlighted. You can see here just below average, 350 hit points. Does very well with the hull and turret armor. Weight just a little bit heavier than the average. Nice engine horsepower, but it is a little bit slower on the speed and traverse, but does have a nice turret traverse speed. Moving down to the bottom section here, you can see a lot of red on the shell penetration and average damage, but those numbers aren't far off from the average, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. Where you want to see the good numbers in the green is where you do on this tank. 27 rounds per minute with an average damage per minute of over 1200 is where this tank really shines, as well as a nice aim time of 3.9 seconds and a good dispersion of 0.38. Throw in the fact that it's got a minus 15 degree on the gun depression. You can really use those hills, get hulled down, really hone in on your skills as you're working your way up the tiers. I recommend using this tank for that. Spend an extra good bit of time in this and just really refine your skills before moving on up to some of the higher tiers. Let's look at some gameplay. Alright guys, first game I'm going to show you here on Mines as the top tier. You will see this map quite frequently, as it is one of the few maps you get to see at tier 3 and below. Obviously, when you move up to tier 4, you get introduced to some of the bigger maps. But anyway, I push up the hill. Because this tank has good gun depression, there's no point running over the side there. You can see all of their tanks are there and taking a lot of damage early up front. And you can see how this tank can just peek over the top and look down the other side of the hill. You know, those tanks that only have 8 or 6 degrees of gun depression can't do this. So this is to your advantage. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm peeking over and finding a target, taking my shots and backing down. And you can see I just dip on down, and obviously I'm a small shot, whereas that medium right next to me is the bigger, easier target. So everyone's going to be focusing on him. And basically all this cruiser sees is the top of my turret here. So he's going to make a run for it and run into a rock, and we're going to go ahead and finish him off. Now I know that, and you've seen, I keep glancing over to my left here because I know they got that BTSV up there. He's a fast tank and does have some pretty good armor, but he was distracted on the other side of the map there for a while. So that's just keeping an eye on the map and knowing where the other tanks are around you, and just playing it. And you can see here I am moving up and I'm still staying behind this rock, so if that guy were to turn and start shooting at me, I could back up and get out of the way. And you can see here we've played this whole game with 4 kills, haven't even taken a shot at this point in time, and I believe this last guy is AFK maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and wait for the reticle to go down and shoot, and we'll go ahead and get kill number 5 there. So you can see in quite a short game that you know, we got 5 kills, 1100 damage, and this tank just pumps out the damage there. 28 shots landed. So that game was a good example of using the gun depression. Alright, here's the next game on Copperfield. Again, top tier. Gonna see this map again also quite frequently. We're gonna head left here and just kind of use this hill right here as our hiding spot. We're gonna peek out. They didn't move down as far as I did, so we're gonna move up to the next, and you can see they've got a PZJ there with the AP. That guy was showing nothing but red, and that tank is obviously well known for having troll-like armor, but doesn't have very good penetration values, although with our tank I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have any issue with us. So I'm just going to leave him alone, and I'm going to focus on these other smaller tanks, get them out of the way, and then we'll worry about the PZJ there. And you can see I've switched over to APCR. We've got 100 millimeters of penetration with this, so we can go ahead and get some shots in here. You see everybody shooting him, ramming him, and not doing a lot of damage. So this is where the APCR comes in handy, and you will need it from time to time in this tank, especially when you're up against some of the tier 4s. So anyway, we managed to get rid of him, and the other 3 guys are now in cap. So I'm gonna fall off the hill here and miss a couple shots. That wasn't very good driving, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm still kind of hidden behind these rocks. I can back up to some degree. Base count's getting up over 50 here. Got 2 shells loaded, so I'm gonna go ahead and take out the first guy. But obviously they've got another guy in cap, and that's still going up, so I'm not going to worry about him. I'm going to go and reset the cap with this one, get those cap reset points. Someone else finished him off, so I empty out my magazine and start the reload here. Gonna push through and go ahead and finish off the artillery. We've got 1 more left. This was obviously a very strong team here. And we're both gonna fight here for the last kill, and the artillery gets it. But again, another very short game. And you can see here 1,350 damage in such a short amount of time. I mean, this tank just pumps out. You can see this game here was a great example of the maneuverability. 31 of 30 shots penetrated. I think I damaged every single tank on their team. So anyway, another good game there. Alright, here we are on Himmelsdorf. Obviously we are bottom tier. This is a new map for tier 3 players. And a lot of times when I am the bottom tier, I don't like to be as aggressive getting out front. Obviously, if I get ambushed, or these tanks that you know, they just have obviously a higher tier tanks are going to have no problem penetrating this tank. So anyway, I'm going to wait, and we get the T-82 pop up, which is pretty much my worst nightmare because he can pretty much one-shot me. So anyway, so we were pretty lucky there to make him miss and hit the building instead of our tank. So anyway, let's push on forward. And now we're looking like we're into a little bit of a trouble. Want to go ahead and get this guy out of the picture. So we take a little bit of damage for our trouble there, but we've got obviously a pretty good high damage tank out. And you know, this is where really keeping an eye on your surroundings helps. Got tanks pretty much now all around me, trying to keep an eye on where everyone is and if I'm in trouble from any of these other directions. So anyway, finish him off, and I think that Crusader has not engaged coming around, but he's turned around. I wasn't expecting that, and he's coming back for us. He's obviously a higher tier tank, so he tracks me there, but we go ahead and repair it real quick and keep on moving and come back to a little bit of safety because we've got some of our teammates behind us. So I'm on the reload, so I'm just kind of playing it safe here. And we'll go ahead and finish him off. 2 guys left. It's 5-on-2. Well, that was our 4th kill on the M2 medium. He was obviously not sure what he was doing there, showing us the weak side of his tank, which means that there is 1 left, and we're gonna go hunt him down. He's spots up on the map there, so So let's go ahead and try to get in on the action. And that wasn't very good aiming there. Should have aimed a little bit lower. Go ahead and move on. Try to get in onto the side here. Use the maneuverability of this tank. Didn't do a very good job, but now he's hunting us down, and we'll just move around and doesn't even get a shot in. So you can see this tank is quite maneuverable. Great penetration values. Can do significant amount of damage even in the higher tier games. 1357 damage, another level 1 mastery, 4 kills. Alright guys, here's another game, Yamato Harbor. Obviously low tier. In a medium I prefer, or light tank, I prefer to go right. There's a really good hill right here that you can get behind, especially with a tank like this with the 15 degrees gun depression. See if anyone pops up over those hills and take advantage of them being out in the open. But they're not pushing that way, so we're going to use this ridgeline here. The M2 medium there does a very nice job of using that ridge, showing only his turret, which is pretty strong, and he's got great gun depression. So we're going to play it very conservative with him. T-46 looks a little confused. That Luchus over there, he's spotted us, so I'm going to go ahead and get behind that rock while we're reloading. Put a few shots into him while he is wide out in the open. He is snuck behind the building there, so now we're focusing in on these 3 guys here. That M2 is going to pay the price there for allowing us to get around the side of him. So looks like the Keeney's up there at that typical spawn point where everyone goes to hide. And you can see here how I am using these rocks to hide behind. So I'm only showing a little bit of my tank. Switched over to APCR here. He's been taken out. We've got the Luchus and Keeney there, and there's our 4 tanks all spotted up. So we know what we can do here. Get a couple shots into the PZ2G as he goes around the corner. Gonna go ahead and push on up here. We certainly have the numbers. I'm not too worried about that. Don't forget you can shoot through boxes and stuff like that. So now they're down to 2 tanks. M3 Lee, he's got some good armor, so I might need that on him. Switch over to the APCR, get a few rounds in there, and then just gonna go ahead and try to stay behind him. But that Luchus was following me, so go ahead and get a shot into the M3. Surprised he hasn't turned around all the way yet, but we managed to finish him off in time. We're moving, we're rocking back and forth, trying to make that Luchus miss. And I was going in for the ram kill, but he got taken out before I could get there. So only 1 kill in that game, but we did significant amount of damage. Let's see, I think it was over 1100 damage in this game. Yeah, 1104. So one of my favorite tanks. Keep this tank in your garage if you do have it. Bring it out from time to time, and just practice those skills in it. So as always, guys, stay safe out there, have fun, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.